Brought to you by Friends Council and Advis. TrusteeU, your online governance program for trustees.
So as trustees, the charge, of course, to be financially responsible and look hard at your school finances almost inevitably leads to conversations about increasing enrollment because there's always need. I would say that is a false starter, and what I mean is the real discussion has to be, who do we want to be and is it sustainable? Start there. If in fact you have to make hard decisions that you're going to be a smaller school because you're devoted to your mission and you want only those families who are close to that mission, then that means you have to make hard decisions about budget and about numbers, because it'll be impossible for your mission team to meet the goals, and you need to get real with understanding the marketplace and what's possible in that marketplace. That being said, I don't think enrollment is sort of the panacea. You always will have to have a thriving philanthropic effort that's never going to go away. I would say, and I would remind all trustees, that every single school out there, only a few exceptions in the NEI's membership anyway, rely on between 80 and 90% of their operating income from tuition. And I would also tell you that I firmly believe that we have under-resourced our admission offices. They've been seen in a sort of secondary way relative to money, and I hope that we will follow the university model, which in the last decade has made a huge shift into seeing enrollment management as strategic, lifting expectations for the people who are leaders in those areas, resourcing and putting more people into managing those relationships and potential new customers for the schools. And I hope that our schools, there's a clarion call from my organization for enrollment management to be seen as a strategic priority for schools. So I would tell you that when you're thinking about increasing enrollment, step back from that. If you're in a market there's lots of high demand, do a long view. I'm aware of many schools who, because of the demand in the 1990s, grew buildings, acquired land, built their infrastructure up, only to see everything shrink again and to be challenged by the infrastructure they built 10 years ago. So make sure you do a long view of what's possible for your school if you're in a growth mode. I will also tell you that it's been the best of times and worst of times in the last year for our members. We have 800 schools in our membership. And some have had the hardest years ever in enrollment, and some have had their best years. So demographics alone won't tell you everything you need to know. Market demand, particularly in boarding schools, the most powerful schools, has been at its all-time high. And in some areas of the country where the economy hasn't come back, you see a decline in very strong schools 5 years ago. So make sure you know the exigencies of your local market if you're reliant on your local market for your school enrollment, and also understand that if you're a boarding school, the world is your market, and there are major growth areas emerging right now, of course in China, but also in Brazil, Russia, South Africa, and India. And you want to make sure that your school's aware of those trends and actively pursuing them if it makes good sense for your school.